So good morning students. Now we'll start the profit and loss account. Last class we have already discussed about trading account. Now the second one is profit and loss account. This is the part of the income statement, because final account is done through two statements. One is income statement, another one is position statement. So profit and loss account is the part of the income statement. So let's start. The point number one is meaning. First one is meaning. Number one, this account is prepared. This account is prepared after preparing the trading account. After preparing the trading account, the balance of the trading account. What is the balance of the trading account? It is either gross profit or gross loss. Either gross profit or gross loss. So the balance of the trading account, that is gross profit or gross loss, is transferred to the profit and loss account. And it is the starting point. Of this account. That means gross profit or gross loss is the basis of preparing the profit and loss account. In point number 2, similar to trading account, it is also a nominal account. Where all the indirect incomes and indirect income and indirect expenses are duly recorded. Because all the direct incomes and direct expenses are recorded in the trading account, therefore all the indirect expenses and indirect income are recorded in the profit and loss account. Now point number 3, it is prepared for a particular period. Same way, say 1 year. It can also be prepared on quarterly basis or half yearly basis, but usually it is prepared for 1 year, that is accounting period. To reflect or determine the net profit or net loss of a particular period. In trading account, the result is either gross profit or gross loss, and in profit and loss account, the result is either net profit or net loss. Similar approach, that means if indirect incomes are greater than the indirect expenses, then it results in profit, and if the expenses are greater than the income, it results in a net loss. So first of all, for net profit, the equation will be indirect income is greater than indirect expenses. Whereas in case of net loss, indirect income is lesser than the indirect expenses. Point number 3. After point number 3, point number 4. The result of the profit and loss account the result of the profit and loss account is duly transferred to the balance sheet. That means the net profit or net loss will be transferred to balance sheet subject to adjustments under the head capital. That means the net profit or net loss will be adjusted with capital in the balance sheet. How? First one is capital plus net profit, and in case of loss it is minus net loss. Net profit will be added and net loss will be deducted from the capital balance. So this is the result of profit and loss account, which will be adjusted in the balance sheet under the head capital. Capital, as we know, represents the owner's contribution, in the business. Therefore, in case of sole proprietorship business, the net profit and net loss, which is totally belongs to the owner, will be added with the capital or deducted from the capital. That will be adjusted in the balance sheet only. Second point, what are the features? So after meaning, point number 2, we will cover features of profit and loss account. Features of profit and loss account. So first one, let's cover features. Number 1, it is a nominal account. It is a nominal account which is prepared So first point, as usual, it is a nominal account which is prepared at the end of the year. Point number 2, all the indirect incomes and indirect expenses, relating to the current year is recorded in it. Remember, all the indirect items, indirect income as well as indirect expenses. It also considers adjusting items, which will be covered in the next topic. Adjusting items, which are always related to the accrual concept. Adjusting items like outstanding expenses, accrued incomes, etc. The balance will be either net profit or net loss result. If credit is more than the debit, then it will be net profit, and if the debit is more than the credit, then it will be net loss. Then main point number 3, what is the need or purpose of profit and loss account. Need and purpose of profit and loss account. First of all, it provides knowledge. It provides knowledge about net profit or net loss. Second one, it helps to compute the actual profit of the business. Actual profit of the business. Point number 3, it helps in comparison of what? Comparing the items, that means indirect incomes and indirect expenses, comparing the items of the current year with the previous years. Therefore, in case of any deviation or difference between the 2 years, it can be easily detected. Point number 4, it helps in future planning. That means in case of loss, what to do the next, or in case of profit, what is the next. Future planning or decision making. Profit and loss account, the result of profit and loss account helps in future planning and decision making. Next, it provides the base for income tax calculation, because based on the net profit, usually we compute the taxes to be paid to the government. And after the preparation of profit and loss account, we are preparing the balance sheet. So it is the basis of preparing the balance sheet, because for preparing the balance sheet we need the net profit as well as net loss, either net profit or net loss, because it will be adjusted with the capital in order to determine the balances of assets and liabilities. So these are the meaning, features and need or purpose of profit and loss account. It is purely theoretical base. For theoretical questions you have to cover this type of questions. The next point is the most important point, that is point number 4, important points. So these points are necessary for the preparation of profit and loss account. So here we will cover almost all the items which are recorded in the profit and loss account and their relevance, meaning, position, etc. So first one is gross profit or gross loss. You know, all of you, gross profit arises in the trading account if the difference figure is in the debit side. Therefore, it will be transferred to the profit and loss account to the credit side. So in the profit and loss account, it will appear on the credit side, and in case of gross loss, it appears on the credit side of the trading account. Therefore, in the profit and loss account, it appears on the debit side. Why this gross profit or gross loss is important? Because it is the starting point. It is the starting point of preparing the profit and loss account. It is the starting point of preparing the profit and loss account. Then point number 2, we will cover all the indirect expenses. First of all, salary. Salary we know it arises when there is employer and employee relationship. That means whenever there is relationship of employer and employee, then the employee will get salary and the employer pays the salary. As per the government regulation, every employer is required to deduct certain amount of tax from the salary of the employee and is required to pay to the government. So it is the responsibility of the employer to deduct the tax and pay the tax amount to the government, and the rest balance amount will be payable to the employee. So therefore, in case we are deducting the tax, question arises, what is the amount to be taken to the profit and loss account? For example, salary, we can say this is gross salary. Gross salary is 20,000 and tax is 2,000. Then the employee will get 18,000 rupees. This 18,000 is known as net salary, which is actually payable to the employee. But while calculating the profit and loss of the business, we are required to take the gross salary. That means total 20,000 will be taken to the profit and loss account. So we are required to take 20,000 to the profit and loss account. Similarly, there is another statutory provision, that is government rules, that every employer is required to deduct certain amount of money from the salary of the employee to save it for the future purpose, that is for the benefit of the employee. That is commonly known as Provident Fund. Provident Fund, popularly known as PF. So for example, if provident contribution is 1,000, then 1,000 is contributed by the employee and same 1,000 will be contributed by the employer. So total provident fund contribution is 2,000. It is to be deposited with the government. It is provident fund. So question arises whether this provident fund deduction will be deducted from the salary or not. Answer is no. Again the same provision, gross salary will be recorded. You are not required to deduct the provident fund from the gross salary and make adjustment. Always in the question you have to take the gross salary, which is payable to the employee, because it is actually the expenses of the businessman, gross salary. So every time whenever you get any tax or provident fund, then you have to make it adjustment and you have to take only the gross salary for the employee. Next question arises about the interest. In case the business organization takes loan from outsider, then it is required to pay interest. Similarly, if the business organization gives any loan to any other person, then accordingly it get interest from that person. So interest, we have to take two parts: interest paid or interest received. Based on the nature of nominal account, in case it is paid, it will be treated as interest expense and it will be shown on the debit side. And in case of interest received by the business organization, it will be recorded as on the credit side. Of which account? Of the profit and loss account. Sometimes the question is silent, that is nothing is given, only interest is given. If in the question only interest is given, then we have to check in which side the amount lies, in the debit side or credit side. If the amount lies in the debit side, then it is paid. If the amount lies in the credit side, it is received. Subsequently, if there is no side, that means amounts are given in one column only and the item name is interest, then we are required to assume it as interest paid, not interest received. If only interest is given and there is no separate debit and credit is there, then we have to take this interest as interest paid. And if clearly mentioned interest received or interest credit, then in that case we have to take it on the credit side as indirect income of the profit and loss account. Similar provision like interest, next account is discount. Discount also same pattern. One is discount allowed, which we are giving to our customer. Interest allowed, it is given to the customer, so it is a loss for us, and accordingly discount allowed will be recorded on the debit side. However, discount received, that means we are getting the discount from the supplier. It is a gain for us, and the gain will be recorded on the credit side. Discount allowed related to the customers, and therefore it is treated as a loss and recorded on the debit side, whereas discount received is from the supplier, is a gain for us, and it is recorded on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Next item is trade expenses. Trade expenses. It is like sundry expenses or miscellaneous expenses. That means those expenses which cannot be put under one category or a separate category, it will be added with the trade expenses. That means the small expenses which are incurred in the business, which are indirect in nature, it is known as trade expenses. We can commonly known as it as general expenses, miscellaneous expenses, sundry expenses, whatever name called. So it will be appear on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Next one, sometimes the business organization provide training to some students, to the employees, and for that training purpose it collects some amount from the trainees. That is known as apprenticeship premium. That is the money collected from the trainee towards the knowledge and education provided by the business organization. So it is like a income, therefore it will be recorded on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Credit side of the profit and loss account. If you want to write the meaning, you can write here the amount collected from the trainees. That means the persons to whom training is provided by the business organization. They are the trainer, they are the trainee, and training is provided by the business organization. For that purpose they receive some money, that is known as apprenticeship premium, and it is like a income, so recorded in the credit side of the profit and loss account. So next item arises, that is commission. It is point number 7. Like interest and discount, commission is also separated into two categories. First one is commission paid, and sometimes is commission received. That means for executing some contracts or making the purchase, making the sales, we are giving the commission. That is known as commission paid. It will appear on the debit side, and in case we are executing something for someone, then we will get the commission. Commission received will be shown on the credit side. See, the same account, but the treatment is different as per their nature. If it is paid, it will go to the debit side. If it is received, it will go to the credit side of the profit and loss account. Next item arises, that is printing and stationery. Printing and stationery. It is related to the office for printing the documents, for using small item in the office premises like pen, eraser, scale, like that small item premises, small items which are used in the office premises are known as printing and stationery. You can record it like printing bills, invoices, printing the bills, invoices, then the ink which is required, then some files, pens, then paper, Now other items which are required in the office itself, and as we all know, all the expenses relating to the office are indirect in nature, and therefore it will be recorded on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Next one is bad debt. Bad debt means the debt which is irrecoverable or which cannot be recovered, that means we have given something to the customer on credit and they are not paying their debt on time, or they are making the default in the payment of debt. So it arises due to the debtors. When we are making the credit sales, we are recording it as debtors, and when the debtors are not paying our money or making the default in the repayment of debt, it is known as bad debt. And accordingly, it is a nature of loss. So obviously loss will appear on the debit side. Then another loss, that is known as depreciation. A separate chapter is there for depreciation. What is depreciation? Depreciation, the reduction in the value of fixed assets like building, plant, machineries. Reduction in the value of fixed assets due to wear and tear. Wear and tear means use. Due to its application in the business, the value of the fixed assets reduces day by day. So this is known as depreciation. Depreciation is a loss for the business, and it will be again charged on the debit side of profit and loss account. Debit side of the profit and loss account. Then comes to insurance premium. Next item is insurance premium. Usually insurance is paid for two purposes. First one is insurance paid for the life of the proprietor, and second one, insurance is paid for the stock items. If the insurance premium is paid for the life of the proprietor, it is treated as drawings. If in the question it is given life insurance premium, then you have to take it as drawings, and it will not be recorded in the profit and loss account. It will be deducted from capital, which appears in the balance sheet. However, if insurance premium is given on the stock, then it is a business expense. And it will be recorded in the debit side of profit and loss account. Debit side of profit and loss account. So if in the question nothing is given, only insurance premium is given, then you have to assume it as insurance for the stock. And in case of life insurance premium, it is clearly given as life insurance premium. Important thing you have to remember, that life insurance premium will be treated as drawings, and it is not recorded in the profit and loss account. It will be reduced or deducted from capital in the balance sheet. Insurance premium. Then sometimes sales tax is given. Sales tax, the tax which is payable on sale of goods. So sales tax, it is the tax on sale of goods. Sales tax. Now at present it will become a GST, goods and services tax. This goods and services tax, if it is given in the debit side of the trial balance, sales tax, debit side, then it will be taken to the profit and loss account. profit and loss account, debit side. But important thing you have to remember, if it is given in the credit side of the trial balance, then it will be transferred to the balance sheet. It will be transferred to the balance sheet. It will be considered as a current liability. Next chapter you will able to know what is current liability. So two things you have to remember. If it is given in the debit of the trial balance, it will be taken into the debit of the profit and loss account. If it is given in the credit of the trial balance, then it will be taken to the balance sheet as current liability. 12 items. Next item I have already discussed with you, salaries and wages. If it is given salaries and wages, that means in this amount the majority portion represents the salary and a small portion represents the wages. Therefore it will be recorded on the debit side of profit and loss account. And in case it is given as wages and salary, that means the portion of wages is more than the salary, therefore it is recorded in the trading account. Then another item we can consider as rent. Rent also, there are two categories. If rent paid, it will be debit side of the profit and loss account, and if rent is received, it will be the credit side of the profit and loss account. Sometimes in the question it is given as rent, in the bracket it is debit, that means it is the rent paid. Similarly, sometimes rent in bracket it is credit, that means rent is received, then it will be taken to the credit side of the profit and loss account. Next one is rebate. Rebate is similar to discount. In case the debtor pays early payment, we are giving some rebate, so we can write down it as allowance granted to the customer. Allowance granted to the customer. So it is a loss for the business. Loss means it will appear on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Similarly, there are some other items also which will be recorded in the debit side. And here another important point you have to remember, items not recorded. Items not recorded in profit and loss account. There are certain items which are not recorded in the profit and loss account. That means if it is given in the question, you have to ignore those items. The first one we have already covered, that is life insurance premium, because it is paid for the life of the owner, not for the business. Second one is income tax. Income tax is never shown in the profit and loss account. It is also shown in the balance sheet. And third one is some domestic expenses. All of you knows domestic expenses means drawings, and in case of drawings it is deducted from the capital. So these are the three items which are not taken to the profit and loss account. After that you have to write the format. The continuation point, I think it is 5 format. The detailed format is given in the book itself. I am referring the page number 1.13. You have to copy the format as usual. It is given in the book. See, this is the format given in the book. Gross loss on the debit side, gross profit. These are all the indirect incomes related to the business. And for indirect expenses and losses, some categorization is there. First one is office and management process. That means all the expenses relating to the office. Second one is selling and distribution, for making the sales, because purchase related items will be recorded in the trading account. Sales related items will be recorded in the profit and loss account. All the financial expenses like interest, bank charges, these are recorded in the debit side. Then repairs and depreciation, it is related to the assets. And some miscellaneous expenses like charity, donation, losses, these will be recorded on the debit side. And the final figure, see, here it is the net profit if the income is greater than the expenses, and if expenses are greater than income, it is net loss. See, after net loss, it is given transferred to capital account. That means net profit will be added with the capital account. Similarly, transferred to capital account, it will be deducted minus from the capital account. This is the format of profit and loss account. You have to copy the format. Now, there are two questions. One is difference between, first one is trading account versus profit and loss account. Trading account versus profit and loss account, which is given in the page number 1.15. You have to copy this difference. It is important for short type answers. And second one is difference between gross profit versus net profit. It is also given the same page number 1.15. You have to copy both the differences from the book. After that, you have to cover the illustration. For practice purposes, you have to cover the illustration. I am giving the reference, illustration number 2, page number 1.16. Similarly, after that, illustration number 3, page number 1.17. You have to refer these two illustrations to have an overall idea about the profit and loss account. Then straight away you have to solve the practical questions. Solve the practical questions from the book. Question number 4, 5 and 6. Page number 1.46. You have to solve these 3 questions, and tomorrow in the online class I will help you to solve these questions in case of any doubt. Clear? Make the notes properly, and after that read at least twice to understand the terms and meanings. You can refer the book also for the purpose of reading. Okay, that's all about the profit and loss account. In the next class we will cover the balance sheet and the combination of trading and profit and loss account. Thank you.